hear me? So there's 1 month left of Joe Biden, 1 month left. Okay.
Yeah.
About 3-4 days ago, he authorizes the use of US manufactured missiles for Ukrainian strikes into Russia.
Correct.
You know what that's you know what the impact of that is? The Russian Federation has changed its nuclear use and deterrent policy. They published that day before yesterday.
Correct.
So Biden's, one of his last acts in administration is to mess up the relations so bad that the Russian Federation has changed the use of its nuclear deterrent policy. Now what does this do? This means that a New York prosecutor is now prosecuting cases saying that all your investments, all your bonds, all your monies that you're sending to these Indian companies all dodgy because all sort of bribery and corruption is going on over there. Okay, so you sour the relationship between India and America 1 month before Trump arrives. Now whether that's the intended consequence, I don't know, you tell me. I am telling you that is the consequence. Now American companies, what will they have to do? Will they be able to give bonds to Adani solar power projects after this? Because an SEC inquiry is going on and the prosecutor is taking it on New York. Will they be able to give loans to Adani solar projects? If they are unable to do so, what happens to the fate of the solar projects in India? Right? The largest solar projects in the world promoting green energy. What happens to their fate? Then will other US investors start feeling that, listen, if one of the biggest conglomerates in India is running a bribery scandal, listen, let's be careful about investing money in India, giving bonds for Indian hard infrastructure. This is FDI. Okay. Building a solar plant is FDI. This is not just some stock market investment, which is what happened with the Hindenburg report. This is now targeting India's FDI. Okay. So you sour the relations 1 month before Trump comes. You create a crisis with Russia changing its nuclear deterrence policy because of a decision that Biden made. Okay. You are literally sitting and shaking Modi's hand as mentioned in G20 in Brazil 48 hours ago, and you're creating, it's called a scorched earth policy, that before leaving office, let me create a crisis everywhere. And if I can create one for Modi, why not? Sumit Peer.
2 or 3 things here. First of all, on record, Alex Soros, son of George Soros, has visited White House 17 times. I believe he's not there invented for coffee and biryani. What is business of Alex Soros visiting White Office under Joe Biden 17 times? Kya karne gaya tha? That's point number 2. American media says today, if there are 2 sides of a coin, one side will be Barack Obama, another side will be George Soros. This is what the American media has to say. Point number 3, Zelensky has been asking for the use of these ATACMS on Russian soil for 2 years. You did not allow them. You said it will lead to escalation. I'm quoting Joe Biden. But when you are leaving the office and you know Trump will only come in on 20th January, around 50, 60 days to go. Before that, you want to put entire world in the fiasco. And Putin 3 months back had said, if you will authorize this use, in I think July, August, he said, if you will authorize this use, Russia will retaliate with a tactical nuclear weapon on Ukraine. Or now the new doctrine says, even the allies who are supporting it can be even an American strike. So you put the whole of the American country and their assets on a possible Russian nuclear hit. That is what your beautiful policy is when you lost the election and when you are leaving the office. Soros comes to you 17 times. George Soros is funding all the district attorney offices. And now what you are trying to do is you are trying to scuttle the Indian industry, because today the FDI of what we are getting in India is much more than China. We have beaten China in the FDI. So if you add all these things, you are trying to impact the Indian economy, trying to mess the relations with India, trying to disturb Indian, stock exchanges, industries and all. And most important, you don't want India to have the tag of having the highest producer of solar energy and the world's #1 producer of solar panels at the most economic rate. This is what is irking you. At the end of the day, you want to make anything around it.